Hello guys, today we're going to be doing War Thunder ground striking in air realistic battles. We're going to be using the P-47 D-25 Thunderbolt. It is one of the best American ground striking aircraft for this BR in the game. And I've equipped it with roughly 2,500 pounds of bombs in 2 to 1,000 pound bombs and a 500 pounder. It also has 10 H-4 rockets and it's going to be a pretty effective weapon. During the Second World War, the P-47 D-25 was is a part of the P-47 family, and the P-47 is nicknamed the Jug because of how its fuselage is shaped. The aircraft are very tough, have extremely good energy retention, extremely good armament, and can climb reasonably well. In this case, we're going to be using it as a ground striker because the bombs and the toughness really help us. Our team is climbing to altitude right now, and it looks like we have a friendly wyvern who's also ground striking. So this match is going to be disappointing, and I'm not going to try to keep you watching until the end about that. But it's also a pretty cool ground striking match for me, as I got a lot of ground kills, and I think it was fairly effective. So normally people go for air targets, which is pretty reasonable, as ground kills aren't worth that much, and they don't really help your team that much towards victory. However, ground kills can also change the way that the AIs behave in the game, which does affect your ticket drain, which is a useful thing. So right now we're going to be hoping to take out maybe 7 ground targets if we get lucky. But of course, we'll get a lot more than that. This is a replay of the match as I wasn't planning on recording, but it came out pretty well, so I thought I should show it to you guys. We're headed towards our target, and I'll let you enjoy the film. We're diving slowly, trying to gain more speed. And it looks like we're about to hit our target, like in maybe another minute or two. So we're getting roughly 500 kilometers per hour, which is a pretty good speed if you're going on the deck and you have a ton of ordnance on you. And it looks like we're going to be able to come here ahead of any enemy fighters, as it doesn't look like we're going to be seeing anything above the area. Looks like one of our bombers must have bombed that area up, as it looks like there's quite a few broken up ground vehicles. The aircraft is quite a beautiful plane if you look at it. It's very rugged, but it's also beautiful. I have mine with a pumpkin on the nose cone and this dove of peace bird on the right wing. So I decided to climb some altitude so I can dive on enemy ground forces. I noticed this yak and I'm worried that it's going to go for me, but it's looking like he's not interested right now, so I'll pull it off on him for later. We're going to go for that male target and we're going to drop our 1,000 pounders. Even though we probably could have used those for better use on the enemy pillboxes, but it takes out the target, so it's fine. All's good. Here I tried to go for this enemy thing, but unfortunately I didn't completely roll out, and my bomb just gets catapulted to the side. Doesn't take out the thing, but it does deal some hits, which is nice. We're rolling over, we're coming out on the top, and it's getting pretty interesting right now. We have 1 kill. Doesn't look like we sustained any heavy damage. Looks like we might be able to do some work since it doesn't look like anyone's near us. We get another one with the machine guns. Came out nicely. Right now there's this AA battery that's firing at us, and if you maneuver just slightly, you usually can avoid getting hit heavily damaged from them. And since this aircraft is tough, I'm okay with taking a hit or two. After some missed shots and slowly taking our time to correct our aim, we get some nice hits and we take it out. The thing about the P-47 D-25 is that it has 3,400 rounds of ammunition, and it goes for its 8 Brownings, which is a huge amount of firepower, but it also lets us spray and pray a bit, which gives us the opportunity to try to get our aim without wasting too much ammo, like a large percentage of it. I tried to go for that pillbox with my rockets, but I forgot to set my convergence a little bit closer because I was planning on going up close and personal with the targets. And I just basically landed my rockets on either side of them. And H4s don't do much damage unless it's a direct hit, and 2 of them direct hits. There's this enemy position. We're just going to spray and pay. We'll take it out, maneuver slightly just to avoid getting hit. So, yeah. That's 4 for us. And it's looking pretty good for us, since it doesn't look like any enemies are in the area. We have plenty of machine gun ammo to go around, and we can probably take out a few pillboxes. The P47 actually has a very nice armor penetration for its guns, and even though I loaded basically all APITs in the tracer belt, it's pretty good at penetrating everything. Also, you might just say that the tracer belt is dumb. I should use a ground targets or a stealth belt or something. I don't know why. I just find the psychological effect of the tracer belt's nice. And we just fly through the smoke as we take out another ground target. That's 5. We're going to roll over, try to come around, try to take out this guy over here. Can't get on enough. We'll go for someone over there. And the direction of our cursor. It's looking like our team is doing reasonably well. Nothing crazy is going on. But it does look like the Germans did get an altitude advantage on us, which is a problem. But we should be able to handle it, hopefully. Slowly getting my aim on target, as you can see. And we take out a pillbox, which is a huge gain. Basically, a pillbox is worth 3 of the enemy ground fortifications, sort of, kind of. So yeah, it's pretty neat that we can take those out with our 50 cals. And that we have so much ammo. It takes roughly 500 rounds from your 50 cals to take out one pillbox is the rule I go by. So I'm trying to roughly just try to be pretty ammo, just go ammo, pretty wide. We don't take out that one. It seems like that was a bigger pillbox. My bad. I should only go for light pillboxes with the 50 cals. And if we're ammo, we're just pretty lenient with it, it should come out fine. We'll get a few. And we should get a pretty good result. I don't know why that AA was firing at me. I guess we were straying a bit too close towards their airbase, which is on the hill next to us. But then again, I don't know. So that's 7 for us. And we have plenty of rounds left. So why don't we go and try to fetch some more? We're going to go for this AA nest. And yeah, we're going to try to take it out. We're going pretty lenient. We take out another one. That's 8. Turning around, coming towards our targets. And yeah. We've gotten slightly hit by that AA nest. We're trailing smoke, but it does look like our aircraft is fine. And most importantly, our engine is okay. Our oil was hit slightly, but I think our engine, as long as our engine's fine, we should be able to make it back to base just fine. And that's the thing, this P-47 is such a rugged aircraft. And it can take a lot of that punishment, which makes it so good for this ground striking role. So now I'm slightly worried. It looks like our team has lost a good chunk of their fighter force, and I think that we might have some troubles. We take out another pillbox, looking good. We'll try to go for another one in the same pass run. Converging guns. And there we go, 2 for us on the same pass. I can only see bombers, but yeah, it should be okay, hopefully, the match. And I'm not going to blame myself if our team loses. Okay, going for another pillbox. This looks like it might be almost the last of our ammo. We only have a little more. Take out 1. That's 11 for us. And we have roughly 500 rounds left. Why not go for another pillbox? And coming over the top so we can maybe just get our nice run before we run home. We'll just fire 50 cals slightly off target, but we converge them fine. That's 12. Pretty good run. But as you can see, we have roughly 3 fighters left, and it does not look like the enemy suffered too many casualties. So that could be a problem. And about now, an order was actually put on me in the battle, which it might explain some of my conservative gameplay and maybe me not trying to land. But basically, it was a blind hunt order, and no one knew where I was for some reason, so that worked towards me. And I was just flying back to base, so I decided that, yeah, I should be okay. for the next 2 minutes. And yeah, it's looking pretty good. Okay, so now I'm actually a little more worried because there's only one fighter left on our team. Two, my bad. And we're just slowly flying back to base, hoping to rearm before any crazy stuff happens. Looks like at least that our bombers are doing okay so far. And the order was about 1 minute left on it, so I decided maybe I'll just be a little conservative. We'll go for a second pass on the on landing, just so that I'm not in the air in case something funky happens, like a bomber bombs it. And yeah, it's looking pretty good. As you can see, there's roughly 10 minutes left in the match, which means that something happened. And you'll see what happens in a minute. And yeah, so nothing's really happening right now. I'll let you enjoy the film of me flying back to base really boringly inside a fighter. Just maneuvering slightly, enjoying myself. Looks like we're smoking pretty heavily now, so it might be best to get a landing within the next 5 minutes, preferably. Not waiting too long and having to fight like 20 enemies, especially considering that we're very low on ammo. The P-47 actually has an amazing roll rate. It can't really turn well, but it is pretty good at rolling. It also has a nice pitch control, which is pretty awesome. It can yaw decently well, but roll and pitch are really its strengths. And that makes it extremely good for booming and zooming. And if you do conservative maneuvering, you should be good. We decided just to do a flyby of the base. Just make sure that that order finishes up. And also, yeah, my suspicions were right. A bomber bombed the base. Lucky for us that we didn't land. And me being the weird person I am, was worried that more bombs were coming down and that I should probably make another pass to be safe. That's a dumb assumption, but yeah. So I'm just gonna fly around, come in for another nice pass. At least it looks like our friendly B-25 will hopefully be able to take out another enemy fort position. So I'm just lowering my altitude slightly. And we're gonna come around and I'll try to lower my gear and flaps. And we'll come in for a nice and easy pass. There we go, landing flaps and gear down. And we're going to make a hard turn to cut as much speed as we can. We're coming in a bit hot for a landing, but if we just take our time with it, be really patient, it should be okay. And it's looking like now we have one fighter left, which looks like it's going on the deck, which means it might be damaged heavily, and two bombers, which isn't the greatest thing in the world, considering I was checking the statistics and it does not look like we took out many enemies. This was probably a pretty disappointing match. And considering I was set for ground pounding and I'm not climbing, like I don't have an advantage right now, I'm definitely not gonna get many kills. Because there's no way that this thing, without having an energy advantage, is gonna beat a bunch of players. And this thing is not the quickest climber. It takes its time, but then you can use that energy very effectively over time. So that's the problem. It looks like this Yak 9 is going to be coming around, and I was worried that it was coming towards me, and at least it looks like our repair was going to be done before that happens. So we're taking off right now. The Yak is definitely coming towards us, so I need to try to gain altitude as quickly as possible, jettison my bombs and rockets, which I do have on, even though for some reason the replay footage does not show it. I need to jettison those as soon as I'm off the ground, and try to avoid taking damage, and hopefully using our team's AA from the base to help take it out. And while that is an asshole thing to do, hopefully it is pretty well deserved for this guy for taking me as soon as I take off. So yeah, that's what I'm gonna do to him. So we're gonna jettison our bombs and rockets about now. We're gonna try to jettison them in the river. I was wondering if this guy maybe wasn't coming for me, but as soon as he starts diving, yeah, we just dropped them. and turning around nicely, coming around the top. It looks like he is coming down, and we're just going to have to rely on our base anti-air and hope for the best, because there's no way we're going to outmaneuver this guy since he has an energy advantage, and yaks are very good at lower to medium altitudes. And even though 2,000, 3,000 meters is their domain, um, even at 100 meters, they're much better than a P-47 for dogfighting, especially if the P-47 does not have any energy. The P-47 cannot turn well, and it'll lose a lot of speed in turning. So I have to be hoping that I have a good enough separation that when I come around, I'll be able to take him on head on. Because the Jug is so well armored, it can take head-ons pretty well. But this guy decides that, yeah, I don't want to take you on. I hit him eventually on the side. You can see he's smoking, partially because of me, partially because of AA. And he goes down about now. And I get a kill credit, which is awesome for me and my stats, but there's still way too many enemies left. At least I'm just not going to risk landing and trying to come out later. I'm just going to take off right now and maybe try to take out another few ground targets which don't require bombs. Even though this game is basically a lost cause at this point. There is a P8 left, which I'm going to go for. You can see it straight on my 12. And I can't see anyone right now, even though I know there's plenty of fighters about to hawk straight down on me. I'm just going to try to take out one more enemy before I go out to try to cause more damage. He's roughly 5 kilometers out, and I'm going to go for it. And sorry about that noise, my sister was talking. So, yeah, he decides to turn around because he does not want to face me, which I don't know whether to take that as annoying or be proud of that. We're going for him. I decide to spray a few shots at him from long range, hoping for a weird hit, maybe take him on fire or something. But yeah, we're closing slowly. I'm on WEP, but there's really nothing that I can do to catch up with him as quickly as he can because he started out at a lot higher altitude. He's diving, and even though he's a bomber, I was a fighter who started at low altitude with no energy advantage. So it's going to be tricky catching up to him. Especially considering because the way he's flying, he's probably about to rip his wings off from the speed he's going at. But we're just about to get in gun closing distance when we decide to go under, come up, and hope to get him. But about now, a fighter comes in on my 6. I'll notice that, and he's causing a lot of damage to my plane. And I'm still too far out to take him out, and he just takes on my pilot pretty easily. I crash, and that's game up. It was a match which I couldn't win. Thanks for watching my video.